This movie can't even come close to Godzilla minus one. Kong Godzilla X, The New Empire, dumb title, is the 38th Godzilla film and is directed by Adam Wingard. It stars Rebecca Hall, Brian Terry Henry, Dan Stevens, and Kaylee Huttle. The movie centers on Kong, who encounters many different creatures in Hollow Earth and must team up with Godzilla in order to beat them and save the world. I wasn't huge on the first Godzilla vs. Kong. It had some entertaining action sequences, but it had a very weak screenplay and just very ill-developed characters. Didn't care really about any of them. And here, unfortunately, it's the same problem. I think that the characters and the screenplay are non-existent. They're just there to propel the plot along, and you could have just made this movie all about Kong and Godzilla, and I don't think it would have been much different. I don't think that not having any characters, any human characters here would have changed much. Actually, it would have made probably the movie a lot better. However, I loved Godzilla minus one that came out in 2023. I thought it was absolutely amazing. It had just fantastic special effects and had really great characters too. I think that these Godzilla films, these Godzilla vs. Kong films, they need to aspire to that. I just don't really understand why you absolutely need to turn your brain off for these movies. I know that a lot of people enjoy that kind of popcorn entertainment, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I do think that we need to start demanding more quality films from studios, because we're at a point in cinema where we can actually just decide what we go see with our money, and they can deliver quality products to us. This here isn't a quality product, in my opinion. I think this is a terrible film. I checked out 40 minutes in. I didn't really care about what was happening or any of the characters or the situations. At what point is there going to be any Earth left? I mean, there's been so much destruction ever since Gareth Edwards' 2014 Godzilla film. How on earth are there still people living in this world? I mean, there's been so much that's gone wrong ever since that movie up to this point. You kind of just like roll your eyes on how much destruction there's actually been. It's worse than the Marvel cinematic universe. It really is. I just can't buy into it at all. I think there's no verisimilitude in these movies. It doesn't feel real. It loses all realism. It's just a poorly made blockbusters. I don't think Adam Wingard is that good of a director, and he really showed that with Death Note. The Death Note remake was just terrible. The first Godzilla vs. Kong, I didn't think was really all that well directed, and here again, I think this movie is just extremely poor. There are some entertaining action sequences, but I think that if you don't have any relatable characters or a good screenplay to back it up, these action sequences are not going to mean anything. They're just going to be white noise. I just started to become numb to it. I think there are only two good films here in this like monster universe. There's the first Edwards Godzilla film and Kong Skull Island, which I think is even pushing it. I didn't love Skull Island, but I thought it was okay. Godzilla King of the Monsters I hated, and then the first King Kong versus Godzilla I thought was just wasn't really all that great. So I don't think this monster universe is working. I think they should just drop it. But it's making money, so they're still going to continue it. They're probably going to make a third one of these. And I'm just really over it. I'm not excited for these movies anymore because I think they're not well made. They're just a very intricate mess. from Hollywood, and I can't stand it. I can't stand these movies. I don't mind turning my brain off, but I feel like here they could be so much better. I'm not crazy to think that they could be so much better. I think that the story could be improved if you have entertaining characters as well and a competent screenplay. I think that this movie could be way more entertaining than it actually is. I've never really seen the appeal of Rebecca Hall. I don't think she's an amazing actress. I've seen her in a couple of stuff, and I don't think that she has a charisma. I just didn't really enjoy seeing her on screen. I didn't think she made the movie all that better. Brian Tyree Henry really annoyed the shit out of me. I didn't think he was good in this movie. The only character I liked was Dan Stevens. I thought he had good personality, and I thought that he worked in this movie. I really enjoyed him. I thought he was the best part. The little girl was good too. In my opinion, I thought they were the best part of this film by far. But like I said, the characters are one note. They're just not. They don't have any personality or anything. There's nothing remotely interesting about them. And when you're watching a 2-hour film, I think that's a problem. You have to care about the characters. Otherwise, just make a movie about Godzilla and Kong. Have no human characters. Just go at it. And maybe that's gonna be much better as a result, because this movie just I think this movie is extremely bad. It's just not a good film, guys. I can also applaud the movie for having just CGI action scenes with no dialogue when there's like a couple of creatures fighting each other. But at a certain point, I just became tired of it, and I don't know. It's just when there's too much special effects, I think that's when it becomes clear that they didn't really have a good starting off point, or they didn't have a good script to start things off, and it shows. It really shows that the screenplay here is non-existent. It really is just a terrible screenplay. So yeah, I think that Godzilla's -1 set a standard last year, and this movie is really at the bottom of the Godzilla movies. I think it's just a terrible movie. Very bad blockbuster film that I'll never watch again. I don't think it's got any merits, really. I put this movie at D+, just because there were some scenes that I found entertaining, and I think some of the action was well done, but that's it. I don't have anything else to add to this movie. I just think it's very poor. So let me know what you thought about Godzilla x Kong and the New Empire, which is just a dumb title. Why just not Godzilla and Kong, or just Godzilla versus Kong? I know they team up in this movie, but like this X thing is just a really awful title. Let me know what you thought about the movie down in the comments below. Please subscribe. See you next time. Bye.
The last time those two met up, it was almost the end of Kong.
They don't have to like each other. They just have to work together.
Now I have seen everything.
We've made some minor augmentations.
Oh.